Hi everyone, it's Taylor. I'm coming to you from Spectrum of the Seas, a beautiful mega ship by Royal Caribbean International. I'm off the coast of Thailand right now, near Patong Beach in Phuket. Have you ever been on a cruise before? Did you ever think of taking one? Would you like to come with me and see what it's like? Stay tuned. Although you can fly to Singapore from KL pretty easily, it's a less than an hour flight, we decided to take the aeroline bus again since I like it so much going to Penang. It wasn't quite as good coming to Singapore, I don't think, because it takes quite a bit of time to get through customs on both sides. First, you have to go through Malaysian immigration as you're leaving. You go across the bridge into Singapore, and then you go into immigration there, which took a bit of time. So while the trip was only 4 hours, really, it took about 6 all told, which was kind of a lot. Also, when we got to the mall where the bus goes, it was pouring down rain, and we had to wait like an hour for a taxi. That's never fun. We stayed in an okay hotel called Hotel Boss, of all things, and it was near Arab Street, where we went for dinner. We had a delicious Turkish dinner that you can see here. It's amazing how much more expensive Singapore is than Malaysia, though. This meal cost about 400 ringgit, or about $100. You would have to practically go to the fanciest place in Kuala Lumpur to have it be $100. Okay, I'm going to start out with a tour of our cabin. We had a junior suite this time, which is a little misleading because it's not really a suite. There's not a separate living room and bedroom or anything like that. It's just a larger cabin than the regular ones. I'll show you around here. But it was nice. It's roomy. It has a larger balcony, as you can see behind me. And it has a bathtub, which is very unusual on a cruise ship. I like to take baths. And it's sort of weird taking a bath at sea, especially when the ship's moving a little bit. But I love the cabin, and it was right next to the elevators, which is always a plus. Well, here I am out on my balcony. Isn't it gorgeous? Thailand is simply spectacular, and the weather's been great. Plus, we were able to eat in silver dining, which is just for suite guests. And it has its own little dining room, which is very quiet, a lot of space between the tables, and very good service. They really take care of you there. It has a buffet that changes daily, but it also has a menu. Now, the menu doesn't change, but it has all your basics like steak and shrimp and things like that. So if you don't feel like anything on the buffet is appealing to you, you can always order off the menu. It overlooks the solarium, which is a wonderful spot. This ship has 2 major theaters. One's called 270, which you can see here, and it's an amazing space. It's at the back of the ship, and you overlook the wake, but they have curtains that can close all the windows in the back and have video screens on them. They also have moving video screens and a wonderful production called Silk Road. We actually had reservations for it this time, so we didn't have bad seats, and that's a must. Plus, if you really want good seats, you're going to have to go there at least half an hour before the show starts, even if you have reservations. They also had a magic act, which was meh. They also had a production called Showgirls, which I've seen before, so we didn't go this time. But they had a new show that I thought was just incredible. It was called The Effectors. Now, it's sort of a superhero theme, like a musical, but with kind of cool pop music, and the special effects are amazing. At one point, they have all these drones flying all over the theater with lights on them over the audience. I don't know how they do that. It was so neat. I really encourage you to see that. They have a lot of activities on board. They have the flow rider, which is like surfing. They have something that's like skydiving. I would never try that, though. I'd be much too scared. And they have this bouncy room. I don't know what it's like, bungee cords, I think. It looks kind of neat. And of course the pools, the hot tubs, and the solarium where it's nice and cool, and there's no kids allowed, which is just wonderful. I don't hate kids, but it's just nice when you're on a vacation to get away from the kids for a bit. Okay, I'm going to talk about the service a little bit now. Now, I have been on 26 cruises, so I'm not really an expert, but I know a good bit about cruising, and I know what to expect. Now, I think that service level is not up to what it was pre-pandemic. The staff seems just a little stretched thin to me. I don't know. They're still very nice, but you can tell they're just working a tad harder than they really should be, I think. Now, I don't know how many staterooms our stateroom attendant has to take care of, and he did an okay job, but nothing above and beyond like I'm used to in the past, and especially when we're in a suite. Well, a junior suite, but a suite nonetheless. I'm not saying it's bad at all. It's just not how it used to be, I don't think. Maybe they're having trouble recruiting people or getting new people, because I think in the past, a lot of people worked on the cruise lines forever, and so they got really, really good at their jobs. One thing I think that is really fun about cruising is going to the trivia games. And they have other games too, and bingo. But bingo costs money. But most of the other games don't cost anything. And it's just a friendly competition. I don't know, they had Name the Airlines, they had Name That Tune, they had Name the State. They had a lot of things. And we won quite a few prizes. I'll show them to you here. Now the prices aren't great, but I can tell you that baseball cap and that thermos were key prizes and the best that you can get. So I was happy to get those. Okay, the food was hit and miss on this cruise. Now, I only had one lunch at the Windjammer, which is the main buffet. I avoid it like the plague on the first day of the cruise because it is so crowded, you can't believe it. So we were so grateful we were able to have our lunch in the Silver Dining then. But I'll give you a tour of some of the food, some of the dishes. You can see what it was like. And at the end, you're going to see the most spectacular meal I think I've ever had on a ship. That was called Chef's Table. It's in a private dining room off the Chops Grill, which is the steakhouse. It was just spectacular. It was 5 courses. Well, as you come in, they give you a champagne cocktail, and you sit down and you see this row of wine glasses, and they have a different wine for every course, which is amazing. So, I'm not a big fan of seafood, so I had them change some of the things. You're supposed to start out with a scallop carpaccio, which I understand would be raw scallops, and that didn't appeal to me. So they made me a beef carpaccio, which is absolutely one of my favorite. It's thinly sliced beef with arugula, or rocket as they call it here, and shaved Parmesan cheese, olive oil, and a delicious garlic aioli. It was wonderful. Next, they had the best roasted tomato soup I've ever had in my life. You've got to see it here. And the next course was a lobster salad, but I didn't get that, so I just got an iceberg lettuce wedge with a delicious blue cheese dressing. It was yummy. Then there was supposed to be a fish course, and you know me, I don't like fish, so they gave us 2 meat courses in a row, which was kind of weird, but it was still really good. The first one was lamb chops, perfectly cooked, just delicious. And then the most beautiful filet mignon I think I've ever had in my life. And the presentation and plating is amazing. Just look at it. And dessert, now I've had this one before in one of their specialty restaurants, but it's this giant chocolate ball that they pour caramel sauce all over the top, and then it has ice cream and all sorts of things inside of it. It's just amazing. With the dessert, even though you've already had 5 small glasses of wine with your meal, they give you a chocolate espresso martini. That was just like a dessert in itself. The maitre d' was very knowledgeable, and he gave us a lot of information. And the chef came out and helped serve too. So it was really special. I highly encourage it. And the price wasn't that bad considering the quality of the food and all the wine you get too. Now, I know a lot of people who say, oh, cruising's not for me. I don't think I would like that. It's claustrophobic, whatever. It's not at all, believe me. Almost everyone I know who's taken a cruise loves it and wants to do it again and again and again. Like I said, this was my 26th cruise in a little over 20 years, so it's not like I'm a fanatic about it, but I do like it, and I think you would too. It's sort of a stress-free vacation. You get on the ship, you unpack, you relax, and you go to all these different places, but you don't have to pack and move. The ship moves for you. So it's really delightful. And being at sea is so relaxing. Just sitting on your balcony out here, watching the world go by. I encourage anyone to try it. Now, the Asian cruise market has not gotten back up to speed like the US and Europe for that matter. But it's okay, but the prices are a little steep. I mean, in the US, you can go for a week-long cruise for a few $100s, and it costs much more than that here, which is unfortunate because I like to do it. It was interesting because this was actually 2 cruises we did back-to-back, as they call it. They were 2 5-night cruises. One was over Chinese New Year, which I didn't know when I booked it that it was going to be Chinese New Year, and it was interesting. It was a lot of Chinese people, which is fine, mostly Singaporeans, I'd say, and they had a great time. Lots of big families. Now, the second cruise, which is the one I'm on now, is a totally different crowd. There's still a lot of Asians, but there's about 500 people from the US, Australia, Europe, UK. We've met some wild people on this cruise, I can tell you. Boy, they like to drink, but I can't keep up with them. But that's probably best. So here I'm going to give a montage of just places around the ship that I photographed and some of the artwork and things like that. Also, I have pictures of some of the bars and the shopping areas and just random shots all over the ship. I hope you enjoy it. going to be sad going home. I always sort of have post-vacation depression after I leave a cruise. But I tell you what, I'm going to be really happy to see Earl Grey. He's been in a cat hotel the whole time, and I would have gone crazy if they hadn't sent me daily updates, videos of them playing with him, and updates on how he's eating and everything else. So he looks like he's very well taken care of, but I'm sure he misses me, and I'm sure he'll be really happy to see me when I get home. So I hope there weren't too many technical issues with this video. I usually do my videos at home, as you know, but I just thought the setting was beautiful and I would share it with you. But I realize now, I don't have my microphone on, so I'm just using the phone mic. So I hope it's okay. Well, I hope you liked that video of Spectrum of the Seas and my cruise. Was it fun coming along for the ride? I had a great time. If you enjoyed this video, please like and subscribe. You always know I need more subscribers. Unfortunately, the cruise ends in a couple days, and I'll be back in Kuala Lumpur. You seem to like my interview series, so I'm going to do more of those soon. But it's going to be hard getting back to day-to-day life, not being on a cruise ship. I can tell you that. It's just wonderful, so carefree. If you haven't tried it, you better do. Well, that's all I have for today. You guys are great. Thanks so much. Talk to you later. Bye.